I want to acknowledge that God inspires, provides, guides, and directs, and forgives. So I thank God and thank you for this opportunity to praise Him. And thank Nathan Greene for this painting that acknowledges God's guidance in surgery. And I praise him for his guidance. I'd seen one of Nathan Greene's paintings of God with physicians that did not portray God's guidance in microscopic surgery. It was that Nathan has one I think we'll show here, and other artists have shown physicians across a desk or at a bedside, and Nathan has one in the operating room, but nothing that really portrayed me looking through a microscope during surgery. So I contacted Nathan Greene in 2001, and he agreed to paint this masterpiece, which has been a huge blessing to our patients and our families. We get so many comments from patients that they walk into the waiting room and see this picture, and then their anxiety level just goes down. We do have postcards that are at the base of the picture that they're free to take. And so many times they'll say, I took more than one because I'm giving it to so-and-so and so-and-so. And then they tell how that blessed other people, going into surgery as well. So it's been a real blessing in our practice, and it just sets the tone without words that this is a Christian organization, and it shows God's guidance of the surgeon in surgery. Of course, we have to trust him for that guidance too. And I just commented about the postcards. Is Nathan in the room now? Oh, come on up, Nathan, and share with us your experience in painting this masterpiece. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard. Yes, this painting was done approximately 14 years ago, and so happens that I had to wear glasses all my life, and part of the payment for doing this painting was after I studied his work for about 3 days, he turned his LASIK surgery techniques on my eyes, and so now I have, well, for a while I had 20/20 vision, but now I'm going back to the old age syndrome, with, but the first painting that inspired this painting was Chief of the Medical Staff, which is a picture of Christ guiding a surgeon. It was actually done a decade before this one. Yeah. It's on there somewhere. It's on the pad. Oh, yeah. This was done in 1991 or 92. It's been a while. I was 29 at the time, and I had been doing many book and magazine illustrations, and literally while I was out running one day, I prayed that I would be given the opportunity to do some more long-lasting paintings. And within a couple months, I got a call from VersaCare Corporation. They owned Hialeah Hospital at the time. And they asked me, well, actually they said, we contacted Harry Anderson, another Christian artist who I'll be talking about tomorrow night. And he said, well, I'm retired, but call Nathan Greene, he'll do a good job for you. And this painting, once it was published, really changed my whole career considerably, because even though it was initially created for a surgeon's lounge to encourage the surgeons at Hialeah Hospital, it very quickly they became aware that this was a great comfort to the patients as they were coming through. And in fact, Florida Hospital for many years now has been giving a postcard of this to every surgical patient that comes in their doors. And I've gotten more feedback from this painting than any other. And this is what Howard saw, and he wanted something more specifically for ophthalmology, and you all work through a microscope, so it's a different characteristic. So Howard and Judy were very gracious to me. They let me stay in their home for about a week. Howard allowed me to observe in his operating room for 3 days, and I took pictures. I tried to stay out of their way. And it was almost as if I was one of your students, because he let me actually look through the training part of the microscope and see what was taking place. and the miracle of what I saw, and then going out into the waiting room, and these people have had cataracts. And I don't need to tell you, I think many of you have experienced this. It was quite incredible to see the joy on their faces when the patches are removed and they can see clearly. So my experience after the LASIK surgery was not quite as dramatic, but it was still exciting. At the time, Howard's, I think, method was to allow the patient to rest for a day. Is that still the procedure? So I rested in bedroom at their home. And every now and then I would get up into the bathroom and I would undo the patch and I put drops in my eye and I'd look in the mirror and I saw all kinds of details of my face that I'd never seen before. And it was actually kind of disappointing because I realized I'm far less handsome than I thought I was, you know. So, but I hope that the painting that I've done for Howard and the painting done for Hialeah Hospital, amongst the others, will encourage not only the patients as they go through difficult and fearful, anxiety-filled times, but they will encourage all of you physicians who I think maybe feel God's presence at various times, especially when facing difficult little hitches that often come up in life. So thank you for having me up, and I'll explain more in some of the stories of how these paintings have affected people tomorrow night. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nancy.